Hey, this is Ken Casey from the Dropkick Murphys, and I love the Grandstanders! Take it away, kid.
Hello, welcome to another edition of Grandstanders Live. I'm your host, Scott Kerman, and I'm joined by my usual cohorts, the Professor, Russ Stevens, Uncle Joe McLaughlin, and he's JP's first son, Tim Hoey. Yeah. Well, boys, it's Super Bowl week, and as you know, the New England Patriots play 19 games that mean something each year, right?
Yes.
Isn't that how it works?
Pretty much, we get an extra three.
Extra three every season. Well, we know this is the last game of the season no matter what,
That's
right?
right, yeah.
It's entertainment. That's what we do it for. Some people take it more seriously than that.
Yeah.
The four guys
Yes,
here.
we do.
But we're at the Super Bowl. We traveled to Atlanta. We might as well win the thing. How about that?
Yeah, it would be a rough loss. I
Right.
think, right?
Yeah, because
that'd make them 500.
It'd make us closer to 500. Yeah.
so I don't want to hear any crap. Oh, well, you know, I'm just so glad we got there. We didn't have a great team. We're here. We need to win it no matter what.
Who here expected the Patriots this year to be in the Super Bowl?
Well,
None
no,
of us.
the way
at
things were
time.
going, the way
thought they
things were going.
Yeah, we thought at the beginning of the year they were going to get to the AFC Championship.
Yeah,
You
lose
guys
in
thought
the
that.
championship.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Well, someone here predicted that in 7.
I had them going to the Super Bowl and
Behind the
winning
Jets
against the
or,
Rams.
or the Dolphins? Which one was it? We're not going to let you off the hook. You know that, right?
Some parallel universe somewhere.
Yeah, right,
Full the
exactly.
He had the
If
Dolphins winning the
If
division.
the Dolphins had just played better. Has that ever been said before?
You know what's
Bills
exciting is the way
Mafia.
they got to that last game was so exciting that they look like a completely different team right now than what we saw at points in this season.
All right.
It's absolutely unbelievable.
So we're going to have our Super Bowl preview. And, boys, I can't get it out of my head for some reason. The 2016 game when we played the Rams at home. Jared Goff was a rookie, and I'll give that.
I was at that game.
We won right. We
The
won
Super Bowl.
26-10. No, this is a
Oh,
regular season
okay.
game. We won 26-10. And do you think? I know it's three years ago. Do you think he uses the notes a little bit in that game on how to handle
I don't
Jared
think
Goff,
so,
or is he a
because
completely different quarterback?
That was I think the last year of Jeff Fisher.
Yeah.
who was
Well,
just
now he's got McVay in his ear telling him what to do and when to do it and how to do it.
Are you sold on Goff? And now remember, Goff went first, and Carson Wentz of the Eagles went second. If you doing the draft right now, who would you take, Jared Goff or Carson Wentz?
I'd still take Wentz, but you know,
No, Goff went
Goff
first.
is,
You
Goff,
would take,
Goff,
okay.
Goff has shown that a lot more than Wentz has, but
You know, as
I still
much-
think Wentz has more potential.
As much as anything, he's not losing games for them. You know, a lot of these terrible quarterbacks, which the NFL is filled with, the QB loses the games from. Goff has not
Well,
lost.
Rams have a
games for them.
high-powered offense.
Yeah,
Yes, but
they got some talent
I
there.
think the thing with Goff is that they give him a finite amount of things to do. They pretty much tell him to throw. You're going to throw to the right half of the field or to the left half of the field.
Similar
And
to what
here's
Brady did his rookie year when we won the
Yes,
Super Bowl.
yes, very similar.
Okay.
Manage the game.
Okay, when Bill in 2016 talking about the Rams, he went on and on the whole week about the punter, Johnny Hecker. And that's what he did again this week. I think that Bill has this team down. He's not worried about the Rams
Bill's
at
going to
all.
abdicate to his son and become the special teams coach.
Because don't we see a pattern here when Bill starts talking about the special teams on the other team? He always does it with the crappy Bills and the Jets. That means that he's not
He's
intimidated
confident.
by
you mean?
anybody on the offense or
You know,
defense.
we could be playing a team that was 0-15 during the season, and he builds them up to godlike status.
Well,
No matter who we're playing, he builds them up. And
Well, they're
it's a
all
perfect
NFL
MO.
players.
The other team is bashing the Patriots and taking snipes to the Patriots, and the Patriots' MO is to say nothing but positive things about the other team.
I have an alternative explanation is that he was watching that Saints game and looked at with derision at how the Saints allowed a fake punt in an NFC Championship game. And I bet he's turning around and his players and saying, under no circumstances are we going to allow that freaking punter to complete a pass on us.
Yeah, right. Absolutely.
You
All right,
all
so,
lose your job if you do,
Yeah.
if he does.
so, fellas, would you say that the Rams are similar to the Chargers? They don't, it feels like that.
I know. I don't buy that at all. Not on offense, not on defense. No similarities.
Yeah, Goff's a quarterback who stays in
They're
the
both
pocket.
from LA.
Similar to Phillip Rivers. They are obviously Donald and Sue are inside, and Bosa and Ingram were outside. But they have two top defensive linemen that we have to deal with, right?
Who, if it's anything like the other games, we're not going to hear from all game. I mean, we've
Yeah, I
just
think it's
neutralized
though,
the
Timmy,
rushes.
I-
I
So
know
you don't
Donald's an extraordinary player.
So you don't think see any similarities?
I mean, I think there are some. More of a stationary quarterback. They have a stud running back. Both teams have a stud running back. But I think it's a different team than both teams we've played. And I think that the defensive line from the Rams is significantly different from the other two because the other two had great players around the edge, and these guys are in the middle.
And
Right.
we have Mason and Tooney, who are both well above average guards, going against those two. So it's going to be quite the battle. I mean, they're not sliced bread. They're not even, just another guys.
The way to hurt
These are good players.
The way to hurt the Patriots, in their Super Bowl losses we've seen, is get to Tom Brady.
Up the middle.
up the
Get
middle,
to
yeah.
Tom Brady. If you leave him back there unaccosted, he's going to tear you apart.
Mechanically, he likes to step forward into
Does
his
that.
throws.
When you see him step back and setting, you know it's going to be a complete pass.
He can't
And
do
he's
that
been
if it's
very
pushed.
comfortable these
Very
two
comfortable.
playoff games. 90 passes. He's not seen the ground yet.
Yeah.
I think this is a Uncle Joe McLaughlin game. This
Yes.
is
Oh,
a
wow.
game that's going to be
Great.
all about the trenches. It's going to be the Patriots offensive
yeah.
line versus the Rams defensive line, and no one knows that on this panel better than Joe with respect to how do the Patriots handle these two massive athletic defensive tackles.
And David, the key will be David Andrews making the calls there on the protections because they're not going to just be content with pushing the middle with those two big guys. They're going to be wanting to blitz and stunt
Stunts
off
and-
the holes. If we try to double team one like Sue or Donald, a linebacker's coming through that gap, and it'll be up to Andrews to recognize what's happening out there and stop it.
And
from
I would
happening.
imagine the running backs picking up those blitzers. I mean, the running backs are going to have to protect Brady too.
So we'll see Burkhead a lot.
And
more.
we'll also keep them honest with the running game. I mean, they're not just going to be able to pin their ears back, and
hope.
you hope so. That's what we've done in the
hope,
two
yeah.
previous playoff games.
So Timmy talks a lot about what's Bill worth each game, coach versus coach. Sean McVay, a nice young coach. In fact, what Tom Brady is, could be his daddy, but he could definitely be an uncle.
twice
He's
his age.
25 years old?
No,
35 years
41 to
Let's look at-
33.
No, he's 33 years old.
33.
So right, yeah, but I mean Brady wouldn't
To
he could be his
66.
father.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you meant Belichick.
So
No,
let's look at-
no. Brady could be.
Scotty,
So
let's-
is Sean
Older
McVay
brother.
a great young coach? Okay,
Yeah.
He's never been to the Super Bowl. Bill's been to a few. We always talk about Bill being
A few.
6, 7 points
11.
favorite against the coach. What do you see that in this kind of game?
Well, let's look at the evidence. The first two playoff games, Belichick was a genius in the first two halves. And so what's that, 7-10 points right there? By keeping the other team's offense off the field? That was coaching,
Game planning.
game planning.
Yeah, I happen to think that everyone says this whole thing about, well, you give Bill Belichick 2 weeks to prepare. I actually think the extra week benefits the opposition.
Yeah,
coach.
because he can do it in 1 week. That's his system. He's got all his coaches trained. 1 week, I can turn it around in
Yeah.
a whole new game plan. Other coaches can't do that. Give them 2 weeks, they can.
So I think it levels the playing field. I think 3 points. I don't think more than 3 points this
Yeah.
week.
So we saw Doug Peterson last year, in the last year's Super Bowl, the Patriots take a lot of chances. Peterson being a young coach. Now will McVay take a lot of chances?
I think he'd be smart
Fourth
to
downs
do so.
and ones and
Those
going for it early.
those chances were followed up by a Philadelphia's quarterback who had what I judge the greatest game by a quarterback in a Super Bowl. He was perfect. His passes got
Tight.
Totally agree.
in tight spots. I do not see any other quarterback except Tom Brady reproducing a performance like Philadelphia's quarterback had. That guy was perfect
He had
last
an
year.
angel on his shoulder
He was
last
an
year.
angel, and I don't see that happening again.
So C.J. Anderson used to kill us when he was a Denver Bronco, right? Now about 40 pounds later, he's now
But
back
they-
as a Ram, and he's basically their starting
He's
running
the
back.
backup. Those two, him and Gurley, terrify me as being much more dangerous than Goff in his passing attack.
Yeah.
I think
agree.
that he's got fresh legs, right? And I think Gurley's hurt.
Right.
And
I do
But
too,
did
but he
Gurley
Well, he
get
has to
better
be
in
hurt
2
if he
weeks,
would've played
though?
more in the NFC
Did he get
Championship
better?
game.
Is that
Could
is
be.
that a
I mean,
boo-boo
if-
that's going to heal in 2 weeks?
Let's assume he had a sprained MCL. Those things take about 4 weeks. It could be a little bit better.
Yeah.
But not 100%.
He's dangerous.
He is.
Okay, so we talked last week about 2 weeks ago, taking Kelsey out of the game or Hill, right?
Yeah.
Now all of a sudden, their
Took
best
them
wide
both.
receiver. Well, yeah, Kelsey had a pretty good game, but definitely Hill. So their best wide receiver is Robert Woods. Maybe you guys have never heard of him,
Yeah.
but he's a really solid guy. I think he had close to 90 receptions this year. Is he the guy we're taking out on the Rams offense?
Yeah, it would have been Cooper
Kupp,
Cup,
yeah.
the slot receiver that was doing the most damage early on when the Rams were killing people.
I have this horrible feeling that Cooks is going to come back to haunt us for some reason.
I don't know, though. I mean, you would think, though.
Oh, look at
remember
the picture. Great picture.
remember
Cooks
how-
getting smoked.
Is he
absolutely
gonna-
horrible he was.
He
in
was
that last year's
horrible.
Super
He
Bowl.
choked.
Yeah.
He
That
missed
was
a
him
bit.
trying to jump over the player.
Yeah.
instead
He
of-
just
And
choked.
Cooks is just the kind of guy who I think Belichick will shut down. He'll put Jonathan Jones and get him some safety help. And Cooks may catch a.
But
a
I'm
big
talking about
pass.
long-term Boston sports history. Like, old players seem to come back to haunt us sometimes.
Yeah.
Time.
I don't know
Carlton
why.
Fisk.
I'm just hoping Brandon Cooks tries to jump over.
Yeah,
Dante
I hope he's as
Hightower.
big a
too.
moron as he was last year in our
Yeah,
Super
look,
Bowl.
for me, Joe mentioned it. For me, the scariest thing is if they get Gurley going, catching the ball out of the backfield, because we've shown, you've talked about wheel routes,
Wheel
right?
routes
And
kill
then
us.
Anderson coming up the middle.
If you get Todd Gurley out with the ball in space up against Hightower, one of our
Yeah.
plotting linebackers,
we're
you
not
could
fast.
be in a lot of trouble.
A plotting linebacker.
Exactly.
Exactly right.
He could make a Lyndon Roberts look
Yeah.
really,
That's probably
really
my
bad.
biggest fear defensively against the Rams.
I'm
is
hoping
Gurley
Bill
gets
Belichick
off.
is watching this show right now.
Of
Because
course he is. What else
He
would
knows
I
a
know?
lot more than
when
the
you
Florida
just said that,
Panthers.
Russ, it kind of
does.
put a little fear in me.
It's those it's those running backs catching the ball and swing passes out of the backfield that
I
just
just
have a way
picture
of wrecking
Gurley
a
getting the
game.
ball and no one within 30 yards of him.
Well, here's the good
And he can
news,
just-
right? I would still say the reason why the Eagles beat us last year was because Matt Patricia and company could not figure out how to defend that run-pass option. And this is not a run-pass option team. This is not
Yeah.
Goff checking it, putting it in the gut, pulling back. They keep it really simple for Goff. So
Yeah.
we don't have to worry about at least that.
So, again, going to the internet and put in Aqib Talib and his mom. And it's one of the greatest stories of all time, Aqib Talib
They're
and
gonna
his
shoot
mom
their way out
in
of
a
town.
shootout with the daughter's boyfriend.
Yeah.
Or husband or
It was
something.
like 150
So, yeah, right,
shell
exactly.
casings.
So Aqib Talib is back. He seemed to be when he was with the Broncos play us in the
Well, he
AFC
shot
Championship.
himself when he was with the Broncos. Remember?
He's a character.
He's a bad dude.
Yeah, he
Here's the
was
thing,
he
though.
was acquired for the Rams to get to a game like this.
He's really good.
He really is
He's
good.
really good.
still,
He's a
right?
bad man.
He's a bad man.
Yeah.
He's really good still.
And I love to listen to him.
Yeah, it'll be very interesting to see how he gets deployed in that.
Does he
game.
take
That
Edelman?
Florida accent
Well,
is so
I mean,
hilarious.
Joe might know better. Like, I've never thought of Keith Talib as super quick slot cornerish.
He's a
great
savvy
athlete.
veteran
Yeah.
that knows how to stick with his guy and how to cheat a little.
Honestly, how many guys in the NFL have you seen when Edelman is healthy actually be able to cover him? And the answer is really none.
Yeah, it's tough, right?
I could see them planning on kicking the crap out of him every time
That's
he
the
catches
way to
the
do
ball,
it, right.
and just punishing Edelman every time he catches.
Well, he's
it.
used to
Yeah,
that, though.
yeah.
I know.
They all
but
that's the
Just
book
remember,
on him.
guys, Edelman did not play in last year's Super Bowl.
Right?
True.
Exactly.
you know, he's
And like you said, Hightower did
And
not
Hightower
play.
did not
he's
play.
a-
And
Edelman is like the key to the Patriots offense. I think
This
that's
is
right.
their game. This is the game that Hightower and
Well,
Edelman's,
they all
this is
half
where
the
they
team seems
excel.
to want to retire, and they want to go out on a high note. So
Our big
Let's-
three: Gronk, Edelman, James White. Those are
Well,
the three,
yeah.
and we have them together now.
Offensively,
Offensively, we got all of them right now. And
Well, but I
Gronk seems very healthy too.
Well, guys,
I
we've
got a
gone
different
14
opinion
minutes
now.
into this show, and we haven't mentioned Brookline's own Tom Brady.
Yeah.
And we can talk about keys to the victory all we want. It's how Tom Brady plays, and hopefully he'll have a victorious beer on Colbert the next few days after that. And
Maybe someone will poke a hole in that face or it
you
deflates a
think in
little.
celebration he has like a Botox?
Yeah, I think
Oh,
that's
yeah.
what he gets.
Yeah.
Right, so he's the key
Giselle's
to
going to
victory.
take him to Switzerland for another dose there.
But I would ask you a question. In this offensive craziness of the NFL now, and it's even changed in this year, can a NFL quarterback play poorly in any playoff game, other, of course, the Super Bowl, and win?
Probably not.
Right?
I could imagine a scenario with a bunch of
He
turnovers.
can't throw 3 interceptions and win this game. He might be able to get away with one. And, he seems to throw one bad one in big games. And
So you can pin a loss in the Super Bowl. A lot of
We
times,
could,
moving
yeah,
forward, will be on the quarterback.
If he throws 3 picks,
On the quarterback,
Oh, last year's Super Bowl all revolved around the fumble there, the turnover.
Oh, I know,
guys,
but Tom
guys.
Brady had a historic game of over 500
yeah.
yards.
But
I'm
here's
not
the-
holding it against him,
Yeah.
but that was the tipping
But here's
point.
the thing, guys. We just won a playoff game where we were a net, however you want to count it, -2 or -3 in turnovers. That almost never happens.
No.
That's a
Yeah,
miracle.
it probably won't
right?
happen again.
And so you put the ball on the ground in this game, you're going to lose. And no
Absolutely.
matter how well Brady plays or how well they play,
those
Ndamukong Suh.
interceptions
you're
are
right.
typically tips off of the hands.
Yeah.
That's what's been happening with Gronk and Edelman. And, those boys got to secure the ball.
That's right.
All right, so, Mike, we love
There's
baseball.
been a half dozen of them this year, too.
Yeah.
Hang on, I don't want to interrupt you, but Joe had a very interesting grin on his face a couple of minutes ago and had
that?
something to offer about what's going to happen, and I think I know where you're going about the.
Oh, I
key
just
player
had
on the
a
Patriots.
different kind of MVP because it's always a dark horse that, like the 5th or 6th receiver. And man, maybe we'll have a Hogan's
I knew you were
swatting.
gonna
Hogan
say
saying,
that. I knew
wow,
you were
all of a
gonna
So-
sudden.
Remember
You think-
the championship game last year? He came out of nowhere against the Steelers and caught like 200 yards worth of passes.
So you think Hogan could be a key guy on offense?
I really don't think so, but maybe.
I don't know, but he made it. We got one of the key catches in
that's
the,
as good, likely to
AFC
happen as
Championship
anything.
game.
He has the
Unbelievable.
ability to be the guy.
He's played better the
played
last few
better.
weeks. I'll give you that,
yeah.
right?
And if they're focused too much on everyone else, they'll use
Yeah,
him.
he was like he was invisible against the Steelers. Remember, he was wide open every time for 50 yards and a whack.
Yeah, he may be the guy that the Rams put nobody on
Joe,
at
I
times.
smile to my face just remembering that game.
Yeah.
That was a fun game.
So
Oh,
running
it's always
backs.
nice to beat the Steelers.
You love little baseball analogies. And running backs, and we're always talking about the relief corps of the Boston Red Sox. Would you consider the running backs Sony Michel, Joe's favorite, as the starting pitcher?
Starting pitcher.
James White as the middle reliever, and Rex Burkhead as the closer.
If they do that, they win the game.
Yeah.
But if they
Is
can,
that how
if
it's
they
kind
can.
of set up? And, Belichick's a big baseball fan.
could
Is
be.
that kind of how they're setting up this running back
Well,
corps?
Burkhead is the closer. He does run.
He's
similar
bigger and
to a
strong.
fullback. I
Yeah.
mean, when he's running and not just because he's white and Devlin's white, but I get them confused quite often
Yeah.
because of his style of running. It's fullback-like running.
Yeah.
Look, if there's one thing I know, if one of our running backs gains over 100 yards on the ground, we're going to win the game. I think we have a 19-0 record when that happens.
Yeah.
And Michelle broke the 100-yard mark in that last game against Kansas City. If Michelle runs for over 100 yards, I honestly, unless we have a turnover festival, there's no way we lose this game.
Then Donald and Sue have to stay back and protect against
Totally
the
right.
run. They're not pushing the pocket. Brady's got all the time in the world.
Yeah.
Donald's
One thing
not
leads
that
to
big
another.
either, right?
No, he's pretty big.
Well,
Big,
no, he's
fast.
only he's 280.
280. That's
He's
not
small
that,
for
that's not that
He's
big.
incredibly
in
athletic.
today's-
Oh, incredible.
I know he is, but can he be pushed by,
Yeah. They've had
What is
trouble
he-
defending the run this year, typically.
What do they play? They,
Used
they
to
don't have
work
nose
out as a
tackle,
wide
they have
receiver in
two
college.
tackles, right? They don't play a 3-4. They play a 4-3.
Yeah, I mean, I think they have 4 guys up front, but their linebackers are very light.
Yeah,
and
they-
if you can get past that front
220
line,
guys.
you could
So
break
if
some
we can
runs
get
off.
Brown on Donald, just the the physics of it,
Yeah.
maybe 100-pound difference there.
Yeah.
All right, we
Well,
need
you're
to
not
talk-
going to get Brown on Donald. He's going to one's on the inside, one's on the outside.
Well, we just keep running behind Brown, maybe.
Yeah.
We need to talk about our defense. Trey Flowers had a terrible game last Super Bowl, right?
Well, they took him out of it.
He
They
played
took him out of it.
fantastic in the AFC Championship game. If Trey Flowers is getting to the quarterback, at the very least, rushing Goff in the first half, we're in good shape, boys.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I agree with
Absolutely. Flowers has been a man this year.
that. And I think Van Noy has played well in what they've asked him to do. Get to
He's
the
been in the
quarterback.
right place at the right time, and he's doing well.
When they're getting off the pile, he seems to be right there. You know, the last few games.
Well, he sure played well in the AFC
He's been
Championship
involved.
game.
I mean, he was all over their quarterback last game. I mean, he was either
Those
getting
are
to him or
two
pressuring
huge
him, or
sacks.
I mean, he was right there. Whatever they're doing to get him free, it's working.
Well, I'm going to be watching Dante Hightower. If he is got that step, that extra step that he's had the last few weeks, all of a sudden he's the key to the defense.
He played fewer downs last Super Bowl than Malcolm Butler did.
Well, he didn't play.
Yeah.
They'll be throwing away from Gilmore, who's our number
would
one
think so,
guy.
yeah.
You know what I mean? And they'll be trying to get the Joneses and the McCourtys, the bad McCourty of the world. But if Dante Hightower is rushing the quarterback and he's getting to Goff, well,
Can
he's
we
our
say
key guy.
Hightower is the Brewski of this team?
Yes. I mean, he's
Bruce
one
Willis
of
He's a
would
playmaker.
make
They don't
those
have many of them.
plays. You know, when you absolutely had to have it, Brewski made that play.
two Super Bowls.
Hightower could be that guy.
Could be, and he seems healthy.
Yeah.
Okay, couple of predictions. All right, I got a prediction. Goff will throw a pick 6 during this game.
Really? To whom?
What's that?
To whom?
I don't know yet.
don't know yet.
It'll come to
You
me.
need to-
Like I'll text you on Saturday.
Okay,
with
I'll
it.
be waiting. for
Teron
that.
Harmon will play a
No,
bigger
no,
role.
Harmon's always like 50 yards.
Deep.
He
Catching
only
in-
catches his interceptions
in the
the end
fourth
zone,
quarter,
right?
yeah.
Like
Well,
a
if
tip play.
there's any symmetry to the first Super Bowl against the Rams and that, it would be Gilmore picking one off and going down the left sideline.
Like
Oh,
Tyler,
yeah,
right?
Like
right.
I
be-
remember watching
that'd be
that.
unbelievable.
I was
Wasn't
in
that
the
Tabaki
Superdome.
Jones?
No, he that got called back.
Oh, that's
Now let's just go back to. I just got to reminisce here of that Super Bowl. I remember watching the kick go through and the ref putting his arms up,
Yeah.
and it was like a movie. My eyes focused in on the clock, 0-0-0. And Boston, we were the losers. Too many men on the ice roughing the passer. And I'm saying, where's the flag?
Yeah, where's
we
the
don't
flag?
win. Where's the flag?
Right,
it was
right.
hard to fathom.
Changed everything.
It
did
changed
change
everything.
everything, yeah.
We won. We lost forever. We finally won.
Well, as a matter of fact, Joe mentioned it. Tabaki Jones returned that fumble for a touchdown. Looked
Yep.
like it salted the game away,
a
and that
flag.
got called back on a flag.
Yep, right.
Right.
And we would have coasted.
That was
That was
typical
William
Boston.
McGinnis' fault.
That was typical Boston. Right?
yeah.
right.
McGinnis held on it.
Yeah, he did.
All right, so the Rams, obviously, nobody across the country is feeling any bad for love for Los Angeles
No.
teams. The Patriots are the most hated team in the NFL.
Yeah.
So-
But also people say the Rams don't deserve to be here because everyone's sort of like, oh, the Saints should be there.
Right, well, they're not there. It's
They're
the
not.
Rams.
The Rams, and I think the Rams were a better team than the Saints, anyways.
So the Patriots seem to be the underdog as far as noise factor in these Super Bowls, right? It seems that
They have been, but I don't think it's going to be this time.
No, I don't think so either.
I don't
right?
think the Rams don't have a natural home base because
No.
they just
Well,
moved from
maybe
St.
those
Louis.
people from Missouri, because that's like driving up to New Hampshire from.
As it turns out, it doesn't. It's not. They've done all these sort of studies about
yeah,
where the
they-
Rams
Missouri's
are.
driving to L.A. is
And
driving
they-
up to
to
New
No,
Hampshire.
no, driving to Atlanta.
And the other thing
All
is,
right,
I don't
okay.
think LA fans don't travel. Why would you leave
No,
LA?
they don't even
No.
go to their games
They
at
don't even
home.
know they
Go
have
to
a
the games
team.
at home.
You're right.
So my guess is this is a pretty pro. There'll be people rooting against the Patriots because that's what they do.
Yeah.
But those are going to be corporate types.
They're not going to
Yeah.
be screaming and
No.
yelling.
So it's actually going to be a quiet crowd.
Plus, we get like a zillion flights to Atlanta from Boston every day on Delta.
I know a
You're
lot
right.
of people
Yeah.
that are going.
You do.
You do?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good
Delta's
sign.
the hub for.
It's a very good
Atlanta's
sign.
the hub for Delta.
All right, so I heard that the Rams are wearing their throwback
Blue and gold.
uniforms and
I
helmet.
like those uniforms.
And you're telling me the greatest helmet logo in the history of sports, Pat the Patriot.
But that
we don't
used to
get to put that
represent
out?
complete loser, though.
Oh no,
Timmy's right.
That used to represent Harvard Stadium, Nickerson
you
Field.
would not want the Pat the Patriot
It
helmet.
does
right
look
now?
like he's
You know what it
taking a
reminds
dump.
me of? Being at Nickerson Field with my no, it reminds me of being at Harvard Stadium and sitting in a puddle on cement. And it was 38-0 after one half, watching Fran Tarkenton.
No. This is.
I remember sitting up in
We
there.
need
Oh,
to
my
go
God.
full circle,
No.
and we need
No.
to win a
Here's-
Super Bowl with Pat the Patriot.
Here's the problem.
Oh my God! I can't believe you
here's
guys
the
are
problem.
I would go
I love
with
the
it.
logo.
Can I make my point? The
This
problem
is
with
what
Pat
we live for.
Patriot is in terms of Super Bowls, it just reminds me of 1986 and the beatdown that we took against
I
Chicago.
know, but we were good. We knew
Well,
we
how
were going
about
to get
the
the beat down.
1968 in the beatdown that the Chargers
was-
gave us?
I'm
2
fine
years
with
old.
wearing
Like,
that cap after the game. Let's leave.
Nobody's remembering
Let's
that.
leave
Oh,
out.
and I love them in red.
Scotty,
The red uniforms are the
I'm
best.
all about like good luck charms and like wearing the same T-shirt after a win, leaving the blood on the shirt. That Pat Patriot, which I love.
No,
it
you don't.
represents-
You don't love him at all.
I
No,
do
no,
love
no,
him.
you guys don't love him. Only I love
It's
him.
reminiscent of a dark era in Patriots
It's
history.
not. What are you talking
For
about?
me, I can
By the
speak
way,
for myself.
Where's our Pat Patriot helmet?
I know.
You love it, but you forgot it.
I know, I
Okay,
know,
let's
it's,
move on. Let's move on.
I do love it, but let's
right.
stick with what's
Yeah.
got it.
Okay,
Adrian must have it.
If the
Yeah.
Patriots win on Sunday, and let's be honest, this is not a great Patriots
Gronk
team.
retires, Devin
No,
McCourty
no.
retires.
Would you say that erases all of our Super Bowl losses, including the Chicago Bears in
No.
'86?
So here's how I've always looked at it: that we lost those 2 dreadful games to the Giants,
Yeah.
but then winning in Seattle and winning Atlanta covered those off. I
Yes.
felt covered.
Right.
Now I need
Whole.
I'm not whole. I need one more to cover off last year's.
Yeah.
Extra
Okay,
victory.
right.
Yes, you got to stay one victory ahead.
And then
right.
you'll be all clear. Would
See,
you agree?
no, I'm already clear, man. I already got a big giant banana split, and there's 3 cherries on it. This would just be a 4th cherry on it. I'm
like the
there.
way you're
World
thinking
Series.
about
No,
it.
no,
Every-
no,
I'm
no,
there.
no.
I'm sorry,
Oh, that's
Scotty.
I hate
Oh,
when
I got
people
5
say,
cherries.
Oh,
This
that's
is-
okay.
No,
That's
do I
okay.
want
It
to
was
win?
a
Yes,
nice
I do
season.
want
That's
to win, but
okay. I'm good if we don't
we
win.
have had
It's
an
fine.
overabundance-
I just
No,
watch the
they gotta
TV.
win.
I won't watch the post-game show like I normally do.
The rich kid
and then
from
I'll move
Methuen.
on.
The rich
No,
kid from Methuen.
Rich kid from Methuen. That's a sentence that's never been said.
More,
a
more,
rich kid from
more.
Methuen.
I know.
You're
We
right.
need to get to our
exactly.
predictions.
Oh my God. All right, we'll go to the predictions. All right, Uncle Joe.
Well, I was very pessimistic until I came into this group, and now I'm going to be the Patriots win 27-17.
So how do you guys think the game is going to go? Because I have a bit of a theory.
It could be a shootout. It
See,
could
I think that Belichick is going to take a
Slaughter.
look at these last 2 Super Bowls and say, we cannot afford to get behind like we did before. We've got to get out in
Does he,
front.
if we get the coin flip, does
Get
he
the
take
coin flip.
I think he takes the ball.
Fake a punt. Go deep. Blitz. Try to create a turnover. It's like I don't think I think he's looking at this game and saying, God bless Tom Brady, but
Attack,
he's 41
attack,
years
attack.
old. But I do not want to be down by 17 points in this game.
That's a great point. Does Bill Belichick think he has the most talented team on that field on Sunday?
No, not at all. But first down, when he gets the ball, 50 yards to Hogan on the first play.
I
of the
mean,
game.
I
God,
honestly, guys, I think
You gotta
taking
do
a
a
look at
prop
this and
bet with
saying,
Hogan that you have
you
to,
know,
right?
I could imagine him saying, I got to go out by a couple touchdowns, 17 points in this game, step on their throat because
Balls
I
to the
cannot
wall.
I cannot do this again.
But
Right,
by the
right.
same
I don't know
token,
if
I
Bayhawk
think
can
LA
take
is,
it again,
is
either.
thinking the same way.
They might.
But
They
might.
every
One
one
of
of our
established
Super Bowls is close.
But you know what
But
that can
everyone
lead to? That
plays
can
them
lead
like
to
that.
quick 3 and outs too.
Sure. No.
Yeah.
I mean,
You
there's
know,
a
we
You're
risk.
did with Kansas City.
Look,
we
there's
don't
a
have
that
an
killed
easy
them.
Super Bowl.
Those 2 3 and outs killed them. They went for the throat
Well,
right away.
my prediction.
All right, what's
They
your
were off the
prediction?
So that is my prediction. I think we're going to win 34-20. I think it's going to be borderline route. I think they're going to be aggressive. They're going to go out and get ahead, and this is going to be our one Super Bowl where we are in the victory formation in the fourth
Oh
quarter.
wow! I
Oh,
love
I
that.
love
Oh my
that.
God!
That's
That's
what I
my
think is
favorite.
gonna
All
happen.
right, wow.
I
Timmy.
have to do this because
Oh,
we
you-
know how
you
it
have to
goes.
do it.
Oh my God!
Stanza.
I guess you can stand.
Quick and concise, 31-28 Rams.
Other Rams. 28-27. The Patriots win. The Rams miss an extra point
Wow, I'd love
with
that.
under 10
If this
seconds
comes true,
left.
we won't be able to live with
we're-
them.
So we're thinking overtime, and that guy
Wow,
Zerline,
Zerline, really?
Yeah.
who all I've heard for the last 2 weeks is how good Zerline is.
Yeah.
He spits a bit,
Shanks
and,
it?
and he shanks it, or no, hits off the field goal.
A double
doink.
doink.
Yeah, a double doink. A Chicago Bear. And we win the game. Because,
double-
guys,
the dreaded
the
double
history
doink.
is they don't let us off the hook. These games are never easy, these Super
Never.
Bowls. And there's
Always
always
3 points, right? Always.
And it always seems like something we've never seen before.
We've
It's something we can
always
put
been
on a
competitive.
T-shirt. It's always something you can put on
I
a
think it's
T-shirt.
different this year. I think that Belichick doesn't believe he's got the kind of offense and the kind of team that can come back from behind. I think he's going to want to win this game in the first half.
Okay, boys. Well, enjoy it.
Now, here's all
I
I
would
can
tell
say.
you that, we may never see this again in for 10, 20
be back
years.
next
But
year.
I
we'll be
just
back
know
next
this.
year.
If
We're
we
still
win
here.
by a missed extra point, we're not going to be able to live with this.
All right, I hope it happens. All right,
Well, the
that's our
97
show
will be erased.
Want to thank the boys. Want to thank
That's
everyone
it?
behind the scenes. Of course, Handsome
Oh, my
Todd
God.
and William the intern. Please check us out on our website at thegrandstanders.com and tune in on Friday night at the Greatest Bar,
Yep.
dirtywatermedia.com and Dirty Water TV.
Friend
We'll be
Street.
back on at
the West End.
9:30 to 10:30. My name is Scott Kerman. Have a great and happy Super Bowl. I'm Scott Kerman. Have a great and happy night. The elephants are in town.
Here comes the circus.